All right, it looks like it's going live. This is Roxanne Swainhart broadcasting on Hucolo TV, and this is our, let's say, pilot edition, our first edition of what you would call Hucolo Storytime. And we had this idea with the Hucolo founders to provide a platform for whoever wants to come in and tell their story, a moment in their life. It really matters not. There will be channeled stories on here from different beings that will come in and channel a story. We will have our members also speak of their idea of maybe their awakening, which I'm going to speak about today and tell you guys my story on how I woke up, that kind of idea. And story, a moment in their mute Amy real quick. Thank you. And so, hi, Amy. So that's what I'm going to do today. And so we just really wanted to get it out there because storytelling, guys, is beautiful. It's lessonary. It has meaning in it. It has imagination in it. It has feeling, emotion. It takes you on a whimsical ride. And you know, much like reading an idea book, just speaking those words from your individual personality and just letting it flow really engages and captures people and brings them into your world, and then you guys just journey in this wonderful story together, and it's really beautiful. So, so we're live now. We're broadcasting on Hucolo TV. So all of you out there in Hucolo, hi everybody. And I know Paula's watching. Hi, darling. Love you. All right. And so we have Amy in the room. We have Gabriel in the room. We have Dan the Guru Man here hosting for us. We appreciate them. Yasmina is here. Johannes is here. Kim is here. Marlo is here. Sorry. Merlot, I keep thinking of red wine and I want to drink. Yeah. Oh my. Valerie is here, and as well as Will. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So Dan, real quick, if you can put me as presenting so it'll stay on for the people. There we go. For the people on the YouTube channel and watching as well. Okay. So I'm going to start with my individual story, okay, on my awakening. To give background, for me personally, I think it started when I realized I was ready to transition. And I will, let's say, prepare yourself in a way if you want to, really doesn't matter. But I'm very naked with my story, and sometimes I hold nothing back, and I'd love to share all of my perspectives. And some people go, "Oh my God, I can't believe you shared that," that kind of idea. So the reason why I want to, you know, the reason why I equate waking up and my transgender being, you know, choosing to shift and transition into a female is because that moment, and I did it when I was, let's see, 2040. Oh, it's 2015, 5 years ago. I'm 48, so what's that, 43? So 43 years old is when I transitioned. And so from 0 to 43, I was never happy. And the day I walked out of that house as a woman, that's where it started. It's like, you know, that little marble that bangs around in that game and you're trying to get it into the hole, and it can never find the hole. And then, boom, it fell in the hole when I told myself, it's okay to be who you are. And this sense of peace just fell over me. You know, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. I remember when I was 8 years old, and when my mom and dad would leave, I would run into their bedroom and take out my mom's stockings and shoes and bras, and I'd dress up, you know. And I would do that, and I was like, I was so happy. I was. But everything told me up here, everything told me that was wrong, to the point of the guilt. Oh, God. I used to kick the living shit out of myself. I would hit myself. I hit myself a lot growing up, saying I was wrong. I would hit myself and go, damn it. Because my parents were Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. But they weren't like huge churchgoers. but the church was around me, and I felt it. I felt that sin. I felt that guilt. I felt that I'm something's wrong with me, because in the mirror was being represented on what's right. And as I'm traveling through my times, wanting to be a, I couldn't even identify it. But I knew I wasn't fitting in what I was supposed to be. And then when I realized I was kind of a guy, after you stop playing in up until like maybe 10 years old, all I did was play. I rode my bike, played with my G.I. Joes, and of course my Barbies that were hidden. Don't tell. So I would play with my G.I. Joes and stuff, and play with my bike and play with my friends, and all I wanted to do was fucking play, okay? And then all of a sudden, everyone's not playing anymore. They're talking grown-up stuff, or which I consider teenage years. So they were talking differently. And I remember I was in the monkey bars with a whole bunch of guys, and I would believe I think about 12 years old at school, and they were talking about girls, talking about the idea of girls, and I was like, okay, I'm a guy and I can understand this, but I didn't understand what the hell they were thinking. I was like, what are you guys talking about? The way they were all agreeing with each other on how they should get the girl, or they're this and the things, and I was like, okay, I am in an alien fucking world. I didn't understand. But I try to fit in. And whatever my suggestion was, because I had such a fucking need for acceptance. I always wanted to be liked. I mean, just a really side note, I would give up everything to be liked. And that cost you a lot. At the time, I mean, of course, I perceived it cost me a lot, because I would give my toys away and go the extra mile. And, as you're going through life, you give up yourself to make other people happy, and then you don't get back that gratitude, because the mirror says, now that I know, the mirror's not going to give you gratitude back, because you're not expecting it. You're just trying to be accepted. Oh, amazing. Oh, I've learned so much, my God. Okay. So I knew I wasn't fitting in there. And then I think at 11 is when I start playing again with the clothes again. But this time it was more, I had more of a look about it. I had more of a feeling about it, that it was more peaceful. I wasn't as scared doing it. And that's when it shifted from guilt to, let's say, disobeying, secret. I didn't care about the guilt anymore, because I was happy, but I couldn't tell anyone, so I defended against it, and I would hide it very well. And oh my God, thinking I was going to get caught, and then did I put everything back the right way? Are they going to suspect? Oh, my mind, it was always spinning. They're going to find out. They're going to find out. And my night times going to bed were filled with fear of being caught. Or did I do this right? Did I hide this right? Did I put it back right? Is she going to notice? And all of this stuff just always going through my mind. And I was doing it like every time they would leave the house, I would go and do it. Pantyhose were the big thing. Wearing the pantyhose, the big thing. Loved him. Shit, woo, loved it. So then there was a time, and I was 12 years old, and my brother was having his friend's sleepover. And this is where it gets a little brutal for some people, but I'm going to speak my joy, because it's my journey. They had a sleepover at the house. And one of my brother's friends, we were all sleeping on the couch and the floor and stuff, and he kind of got like a little fun with me. And I didn't quite understand what he was doing, but he was playing with Mr. Hoo-Ha, right? So I'm not going to give you the details of it, but that's where I gave my first blowjob, at 12 years old. Now, imagine, if you will, a guy that understands what it is to be gay, because it's being represented in the mirror through a couple of interactions, that it's deathly wrong, sinful, Think about that guilt I was going through. Guys, I'm not looking for your sympathy or pity. Just know that. I just really want to give this to you because it's so epic. It's so fucking epic. So think about that image of me doing what I was doing, what was going through my head and the guilt. But here's the key. It was perfect. I loved it. You know? It's like I know that anyone out there that encounters with a sexual interaction right now and they're doing it with the gender that they prefer, whether it's male or female, whether you're male or female, all that's past. It's beautiful. It is. It's a sharing of energies that is just, let's say, beyond measure. You forget about everything. You're in the moment. You let yourself go and you're vulnerable. And I was, and I loved it. And of course, afterwards, I was guilty. Oh shit, yeah. I was really guilty. And I was mad at myself. I'm gay. I can't tell my dad because my dad's a Republican. My dad's a Bible-busting Republican. He wasn't really a big Bible buster, but you know, he had that structure in him from the family. They weren't big churchgoers, but they went to church a lot. So, you know, that's in there. You know, Jesus, the sin, you know, you're the devil, all this shit. Yes, you're right, Marlo. It does recharge your vital energies. Sex does, was what Marlo just wrote in the chat. So that's where my journey, you know, was with finding myself truly. Everything on the outside says you can't do this. Everything on the inside said you can. It's you. You were comfortable. I loved it. It felt me. It made me alive. And I tried to kiss girls and stuff, and yeah, I did. It was exciting, but it wasn't the game. It wasn't sync. That kind of idea. So I'm figuring this other part. No, yeah, we're gonna talk. I'm talking to my guides. So no, we're not. Yeah, this part doesn't have really much to do with it, so we're not going to talk about that. So, anyways, I'm going through my life, and I was in Germany at that time. The next time that I interacted with the idea of homosexuality, and I really enjoyed it. And then there was also a girl there that we did some kissing and stuff, but we didn't do anything sexual because I wasn't sure it was quite right. Went back to the States after a few years of living in Germany, which was a playground, truly, and got back to high school. I was in high school in Germany, age 9 and 10, but I was a kid. You know, I was a geek. I was, you know, a 98-pound weakling because I wrestled 98 pounds, and I was a 98-pound, and I was geeky because I didn't think like the guys. I wasn't trying to be cool. I wasn't trying to have a status. I wasn't trying to be that. I couldn't be cool because I didn't want to be cool. You know, I didn't fit. So I said, okay, forget it. I'm just going to try to be me. I tried to change myself many times. Oh my God, you know, it was always a train wreck. When you always try to fill yourself with an idea of someone else's image of what you're supposed to be, oh my God, it's a train wreck. It really is. And I did that a few times, and it doesn't work. So I would just try to get through it. You know, my brother's approval, trying to be what he wanted me to be, and some of the friends and such. But when I moved back to the States, my brother wasn't around anymore. He had gone off to college, and then I was at high school, and then I was in band, and I met some people that were geeky like me because, you know, we were in the band. There were some geeky people there, and that was good, you know, and I found friends, and I found comfort, and this was the time of growing older, and by now it's like my hormones are popping, and I'm ready to experience myself more, you know. And I got a girlfriend, and that's where I lost my virginity, is with this girlfriend. And I became an idea of what I was supposed to be doing. And it didn't work out well. I couldn't keep a girlfriend because I was the girl in the relationship. And two girls don't want two girls in a relationship. Even if it's two physical girls together, there's always an idea of a positive and a negative, or a male and a female role. Always. That's the energies that flow. There's not usually two idea females, there's a male and a female, that kind of idea, that connect. And I was always taking the submissive role, the woman role, and they wanted a leader. They wanted someone. I was so afraid to tell them, I watched how guys treated girls sometimes, and I was like, and I watched them run right back to them. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know what to do here. I was very confused. My mind was like loopy, because I'm battling in this. I'm battling in this. My urges with men, my urges with filling the role of trying to be a man to a woman, train wreck. Very tough. So I'm working my way through life, and I grew my hair long, and after high school I got that, like the mullet, I guess, the soccer cut, whatever. So I looked good in the 80s, and I just went out and I was like, this is a good looking guy, and I did well, and I went out and I start fucking. I just start fucking every girl I can find, and I was just banging my brains out, trying to figure out what I was. Again, it was an image. I thought I could have sex to my peace, and that was wrong. And every once in a while, I would finding myself pushing myself to go and find a man, And I was away at college, and I found a couple, and I experienced, and I was right. It was right. But here's the key, guys. I couldn't view myself as gay. I couldn't see myself as with another man, but I loved making love to men. Oh, yes. But I could not see. I got the image. You know what the image is? I got a wife. First one didn't last long. Got a second wife. That one lasted long. She's one of my best friends now. And then got a third wife later in life. I have a set of wives. I tried to be all of that image all the way up until I was in my 40s. Always jumping into, gay clubs, finding that. But I couldn't see myself. This is the key. Was key for me. I couldn't see myself as gay. I couldn't see myself with another man. And then my third wife, we were very kinky. Me growing up having a lot of sex, it's like anything else. You're trying to get satisfied, and you never can find satisfied because you're trying from the wrong perspective to be satisfied. So you just explore the sexual world, and I found some very, very, let's say, deep fetishes. So we got into the one time, this is my third wife, and we got into bondage. And one day while we're in bondage, but we didn't get real hardcore, but we had some stuff to tie up and stuff like that, having some fun with that. She dressed me up. She dressed me up to be the bitch. And had a strap on, the whole thing. And after we're done having sex, I'm looking myself in the mirror, dressed up as a woman, with the makeup and everything. And that was it. I saw myself as a woman for the first time. That's what I knew, what I was missing. The reason why I couldn't see myself with another guy being gay is because I was viewing myself as a guy. And I'm not gay. I'm heterosexual. Yeah, I'm bisexual. If there's a puppy pile going on somewhere, I'll join in, sure. But now that I view myself from a woman's point of view, I moved into the idea that's why I'm so attracted to men. Because I'm that female vibration wanting the man. And I was trying to be a man, getting a man to fill myself. And that was the key. And I saw myself. And poof, I was done. I knew it. And when I started to look into my transgender, read about the Harry Benjamin syndrome, that's a theory about this psychologist, doctor, theorized since every fetus is at birth born, conceived as a female, and after the hormone washing, the body becomes male. And then there's another hormone washing, which the mind becomes male. And My body became male, but the mind did not get the hormone washing to turn the male triggers on. So we all know there's a distinct difference, physical size and such, between male and female minds. So that's, I equated it to that, and I accepted that, and I was I was happy. I was like, wow, scared as shit, because I'm a 43-year-old man that works in the car business, making $150,000 a year as an image to people, to my salesmen, to my customers. And I was out there, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I can't. I couldn't do it. It was like I almost wanted to throw up walking out of the house as a man again. And I struggled to get through it so I can figure out how I can transition without my world collapsing, my money, my friends, everything that I found valuable. My parents, acceptance. I'm still asleep. I needed acceptance. I still wanted acceptance. My friends, my job, my bosses, my image in Las Vegas among the car business. The car business is a small world. A lot of salesmen, but a lot of them go and stay. Managers have been in there. We know each other in that area very well. So that was going to be tough for me. So I took it slow. I started wearing clear nail, and I started wearing eyeshadow that was, the same color as my skin. It was making me feel good, but I couldn't hold it back. So now this became like a little bit of a polish, like a little pearly, and this became a little darker. And as soon as I get home off of work, off the man clothes, and poof, right into Roxanne, And I started that transition. And that was a peaceful time for me at home. I was never happier. I knew I had to go and play the game, and I would toughen myself up, psych myself up to get out there and be the man. And that's when I knew I was playing a role, and I knew it. So I worked it magically, slowly, synchronistically, following my intuition. Didn't know it at the time, but managed to transition and stayed on my job a year and a half after I fully transitioned. Told my bosses, came out to them, said, hey, I'm turning into a woman, and I really hope you don't fire me. What they actually did was actually give me another job. I stayed with the inventory, and I was helping with the accounting, and they kept me on, and my pay went down. Oh, yes. But I was fine. And so a year and a half later, I think it was because I wore a couple too short mini skirts to work. Got a few complaints. And they end up letting me go. And that's fine, because I was ready to go. I harbor no ill will. That was one thing that I did learn before I woke up, is like, let it go. I start letting that shit go. There were some things that made me very angry that I harbored, that I found valuable. Criticism of me after I would try to work my ass off and did do it the way they expected. It was my best me, but they couldn't expect it, so I got upset. That was part of my thing. So I left about 6 months later. I got unemployment. 6 months later, my dad said, why don't you come and move out here to Vegas, or from Vegas to San Antonio, because the government and Obama, he mentioned that now that on the government applications it's male, female, other. Well, I'll consider me an other. That's fine, as long as I can get that security of a job. So I moved out here, moved in with my parents, and remained on unemployment for, let's say, I got there in June, and it lasted till April of 2013. I was looking for jobs. Nothing came. I tried dealership jobs. It was tough getting turned down. Yeah, especially with my resume and, my talent. That's not bragging. I'm a fucking good car guy. you know. So, yeah, car guy. Yeah, it's funny. They say, oh, car guy. So, yeah, I couldn't get the job. And I did everything I could. And mom and dad were tolerant. They saw me for the first time transitioning. They were doing their best. I love them. And just to let you know, guys, they love me now because I love me. So I got the new version of my parents. Oh, yes. Yeah. So when the unemployment ran out, my parents told me this. They said, listen, Roxanne, you can eat here for free, you can live here for free, but we can't pay for your needs. You're costing us our retirement. You're infringing upon our retirement. And that's their choice. That's their perceived value. That's wonderful. I understood that. Now, normally, remember, I was very scared about a lot of things. I was very fearful of judgment and getting things wrong my entire life because I was told many times, you fucked it up. And here's another way. You screwed this up. Oh, I fucking hate that. Anyways, so they told me that, and I went upstairs to my bedroom, and I sat down, and I was like, okay, what the fuck am I going to do now? And right there, guys, I don't have the words, but I was this blanket. No, it wasn't even a blanket. A washing. Ah, thank you. Of peace. Much like the same day I looked in the mirror when I was dressed as a woman. The same thing. And I knew it. I said, this is going to be okay. And I told him, I said, no problem. I'll figure this out. I'm not even worried about it. And of course, you better worry about it because you need to get this, and then we're not going to keep you here. I was like, okay, when do you want me to leave? And they told me a date, and I said, okay, that day I'll be gone. Trust me. And I didn't even know what the fuck I was saying. I was like, oh God, I can't even believe I'm saying that. Usually it's like, oh, please don't. Oh, help me out. Victim. No, not this time. I don't know what it was. I know now, but not at that time. So I was going to a guided meditation group. No, not yet. Pardon me. Jumped ahead. Let's go back a little bit. I was in the VA, the Veterans Administration. The Veterans Administration program to help vets, because I spent my 5 years in the Army, get jobs and get back into society. Well, this was a nice program. They taught me everything I already knew. They were telling you how to dress for interviews, and I've interviewed more people than I can even imagine. I knew that program, but in that program there were job opportunities. They would help you match. So I was like, okay, this is a good program. Of course I'm judging it because I know all this stuff, and I had a little ego about it, of course. But there was a one time that I was sitting in this conversation. We were talking about things about getting jobs and honing our job skills, if you will. And this one girl said, hey, why don't you check out this program? It's called VASH, Vehicle, Veterans Administrating Supplemental Housing. And I said, okay, let me go check that out. So she gave me the number. I called them after the meeting, and they said, yeah, sure, come on down. We can make an appointment and fill out some paperwork. So I was actually across the street, so I went that afternoon, right after our thing, went over there. I got a call a week later, and my caseworker interviewed me and said, okay, you do qualify for this program. So I got the program. She goes, you're going to get a housing voucher for supplemental housing from Bexar County, appointment first, and then see if you can get the voucher, which you should because they have so many. It's not a problem. And she goes, 3 to 4 weeks. Maybe a little bit longer, you'll get your first appointment, and then it'll be about 3 to 4 weeks after that. So I went and told my parents, this is what's going on. I'm in this program, so I'm doing my best and just let you know, getting them the update, And I got a call a week later. They say, your voucher's been approved. Go down there tomorrow and fill out the paperwork and pick it up. So here's week 1. Week later, so I got the first interview. Second week, I went down there, got my voucher the next day. That week, I went out, okay, to find my apartment. And the third week, I found it. During this second week, there was a job fair, and I got hired by West Communications to be a telephone receptionist for taking credit card applications over the phone. That third week is when I got hired as well. So in a matter of 3 weeks, my first appointment, and then I got my apartment, got my job, moved into my apartment, and started my job about 3 days after that. So within a month's time, I moved out. I got everything I needed. I got bed donated to me. I got all the program stuff donated to me. I got furniture donated to me. I got cookware, coffee maker, donated to me. Everything I needed. It was a turnkey operation, and started my job the next week, and qualified for food stamps that came in. All in, from July 1st to July 29th, the day I started my job, I was self-sufficient. And that was amazing to me. And I'm also, during this time of all this happening, was with that guided meditation group, and they were awake. Wink, Rita, which now a lot of you know is in the background running the camera for me. And I was telling them this stuff, and they're like, this is amazing, you're waking up. And I was like, what is waking up anyway? I keep hearing you guys talk about awake. So they were telling me, and they're like, you need to listen to this guy called Bashar. And I went home and clicked on my YouTube in my own little apartment, had my little laptop, and had internet from my neighbor that I met, and I was always a nice person. I was like, hi, where are you? Hey, you have internet? Can I hijack it? And he goes, sure, come on. You know, so I got my internet, and it was magical. I start watching Bashar, and it's like, it's like I cannot get enough of this. I called it home. It was like, oh my God, what is this? What is it? Why is it clicking? Why is it resonating? And I thought back in parts of my life where when I was in my job and in interaction, I was always a good speaker. I was always a great listener, and I had this philosophy behind it. I understood it. And this was the same feeling. It just clicked. It just flowed. It was just freaking magical. Magical. And I'm watching this for a month straight. Abraham, Cryon, Bashar, Tom Kenyon, meditating with the Hathors, figuring all of this stuff out. People are giving me books. I read the Ramtha book, the White book, the books 1 and 2. I read the Hathor book. I read Ra books. I read, I don't even know where it's at. The Only Planet of Choice. There's a Urantia. Holy cow! Whoa, what a book! Just was feeding myself. I couldn't get enough. I never read for school. I hated to read. I didn't do my homework. I would wing it just to get by because I had no interest in it. None. I haven't read so much. I read more in that couple of months' time than I read my entire life. I guarantee it. Wait, double more than double. And I just read, and I'm just filling my heart with everything that I've been missing. And I'm a full-blown woman ready to be myself. Finally, I got one piece of the puzzle. Be the transgender. Live that, love that, scared as shit, always looking for approval, wanted to be pretty enough, living the life, trying to dress girly, high heels, lipstick, nails, the whole thing to be the image. The image. And now I know. Now I know. Now I know. I never needed to be the image. I do it for me now. And I was, just think about that release. I found who I was, and I was happy, but I wanted the world to approve of me, so I wanted to do everything. I wanted to get the big boobs. I got hormones now. They're A cups. You know, I really want B cups, but they're getting there. I wanted to lose the nose. I wanted to get the brow browsing, you know. I don't have this Cro-Magnon thing, you know, and the upper lip, big lip, you know, to do all that surgery so I could feel like a woman to the world image-wise. But now I know I never needed to be the woman in image. I needed to be the woman in here. And I'm not just the woman. I am who I am in the moment. I have both vibrations in me. You know, I'll watch the game with you on Monday Night Football, and I'll, you know, cheer as loud as any guy. And then I'll go to the kitchen and make you dinner, baby. You know, I will. I got both in me, and I love that. It's here and there, and it's beautiful. So I woke up. I just said, fuck it, I'm awake. And I went to this law of attraction meeting, and they wanted me to speak, you know, tell my story in this first law of attraction meeting. My friend invited me there, and I went there, and I'm my turn to speak and tell who I am. And I'm listening to about a month of ascension stuff, law of attraction stuff. And man, did I get diarrhea of the mouth. Whew, poof. I mean, I went at it, and it was flowing out of me, and I was like, holy shit, where is this stuff coming from? I loved it. I was alive. I was feeling. I was engaging, and I was me. Oh, nothing greater. Oh, yeah. So they asked me, the lady that ran that, she goes, hey, would you speak at one of our meetings as you as the speaker? And I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. And I got that, I think it was 3 weeks later, I went and I spoke to this group of Law of Attraction, about 40 people. My parents came, and I'm doing a lot of work. You know, my parents came, and I spoke and did my thing, and, you know, it was awesome. And then someone said, hey, can I get a session with you? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I had to go ask my friend Wink. I said, Wink, she wants a session. What is that? And then I said, how much should I charge? You know? And she goes, at least $100. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way. I can't ask for $100. Here comes the money game. This is my abundance. You know? I was taught, listen to me very closely, I was taught not to like money. Money's bad. Money's dirty. And that's a deep ingrained. And here's the big one. You don't deserve money. People like us don't get that. Oh, yeah. So I've pushed money away all my life. I made a shitload of money, but let me tell you something. I spent it. My wife, all of them, had the best. I think Molly had 32 Dooney and Burke purses. Yikes. And I had my clothes, and that was it. You know, I didn't do anything for me. I did it for them because I didn't deserve the money. I bought a house, but that was for Molly, and she decorated it, you know, and that's wonderful. I gave them that, and that was filling my heart at the time. But I couldn't keep money because I didn't deserve it. Right here, this construct, in one, out the other. They even say Sagittarians spend the money as soon as they get it. And as me being a Sagittarian, that was true. So, yeah. So then, when I just thought about something, you know, it was tough. So she wanted a session. And I said, okay. So I booked her session. She came over to my apartment and we talked, and she paid me, and I asked her for $60. Okay. I said, no. This was the first one. It was a donation. And she gave me $60. So I said, okay, maybe I'll be $60 worth. And I always ask for donations at first, guys, because I didn't think I was worth a set price. I thought ascension meant, don't worry about it, the universe will take care of you. But it was truly what my self-worth was. And I did get donations. I got food. I got cigarettes. I got eggs. I got coffee. I got furniture. I got money. For these sessions, I was exchanging the energy with. I got everything I needed. But that's all I thought I was worth. Mediocrity. Because my mom taught me that. My mom was Greek. That's nothing to do with it. But she grew up during the war when the idea Germany, let's say, invaded Greece, and her dad was killed during that war, and they were dirt poor, literally living in a cabin, dirt floors, dirt poor. And so she always saw the dirt poor, and she always scavenged and kept. So ingrained in her is whatever you have to keep, and you have to be thankful for any ounce of idea. You could not have indulgences, because that was bad. That was sin. That was going over. No, 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 no. You need to be meek. You need to be poor. You need to be that to have that spiritual life on the other side. So that was in me. And I couldn't get past the idea that I was worth more than $60 an hour or whatever they choose. Truly. That was my idea. That was creating my universe, because no one else is saying it's right or wrong. No one else is telling me that, let's say, you can ask for more money or not. No one's telling me anything. They're not saying anything at all except you create your universe, Roxanne. So whatever your self-worth is what to yourself is what you get back in the mirror. And I was starting to see that I was not happy with what I was getting. I was mediocre with it. I was getting by, but I truly wanted and deserved more. I did, because I was allowed. But boy, the guilt would kick the shit out of me. Say, no, you're not. Spirituality is meek, humble. But I wasn't doing it at the expense of others. I was doing it for myself, and I had to unwind that one. I wasn't hurting anyone. I wasn't going out or robbing or stealing or trying to hurt or say bad things. I'm a loving motherfucker. I love humanity. I love them. But I wanted to do everything for them, but I just couldn't get back what I wanted. And I was feeling guilty about that, but then I was allowed, and I was going through this struggle about that shit. So I worked, had some more sessions, and started Odyssey of Ascension. 1 month after I started my phone job, I quit. I said, I trust the universe. I quit. I was getting a couple of sessions here and there. I had a vehicle. I had everything I needed. Everything. So I said, I'm going to trust the universe. I'm going to quit my job. And I did. My rent was $60 a month, all bills included. I was pretty much set there. Oh, yeah. I can handle that. One, paid all my thing. I had food stamps. That was good for another 3 months. So I was set. I had everything. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I laid out my security in the future to make this move. But that was what I said at the time to help me make that move. And it worked. So I quit. I quit my job. And I started Odyssey of Ascension. And I didn't even start the website yet. I was just going to these law of attraction meetings, and I was getting a session here or there, and I was meeting people at the guided meditation group, and I was reading at home and obsessed. And then here comes this one day. It was in November. It was like a month later after I quit my job. And I was meditating, and I was oming, and I was doing the Tom Kenyon idea of the chakra tones within me. And I'm shifting my tones up and down to where I felt the vibrational match to the chakra, and I'm toning. And then one day I'm toning, and all of a sudden, here it comes. The toning got shorter and shorter and shorter. And then I shifted into this language, and I was just speaking. And I was like, what am I saying? And then here's the voice. You know what you're saying. Speak it again. So I spoke it, and there's the translation. So I start writing it down, and sure as shit, I was like, holy cow, this is real for me. Because I was saying stuff I'd never read, never understood, never experienced. Started writing down and started this blog idea after I got all this information, and poof, You know, I'm just writing story, timelines, and all of this stuff is just flowing out of me. And then I get this voice. He goes, "Hi." And I said, "Hello." He goes, "You want to channel?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. I would love to channel." He goes, "My name is Hugh, and I'm here to teach you to channel." And I was like, "Awesome. All right, let's begin." So he took me through the steps of channeling. And the first process was to have a group of people in the room, have the entities there that were, let's say, different species would come in. It started with the Pleiadians for me, and they would ask questions, or they would first say something to me, and I would speak it to them, to the people in the room, the message, if you will, and then they would ask questions to me, and I would translate it to them, and they would tell me, and I'd translate it back, and then I was channeling through that medium. So that's how it first started, and Hugh said, "Here's what's happening. Okay, understand the flow, and it's not your imagination, but it is your imagination, you know." And I was like, "Okay, I got that." So that started to flow, and then he goes, "Now you're going to channel a being. So we're going to bring in Akina, one of your Council of 11s." And I said, "Okay." So she started idealizing, speaking through me. So I was channeling. And then Osipius came, and then that happened, and and now I'm channeling every day. And now here's the thing. I woke up and I had so many fucking definitions of what it was to be awake. I had a million definitions. Spirituality is this, spirituality is that. And every single day since that waking up, all I find is more limitations within me. But you know what the greatest thing about that is? Is every limitation I see is one that I now know I feel, and now I'm that much more free. It's beautiful. It's like I'm not trying to ascend. I don't want to be anything except me. I am so free right now. It's unbelievable to be this free. And here's the key. I can't explain it to you. I can't. I don't have the words what it is to be free. And I found it. I say to myself, and this is for me, I figured out the game. I have. And it took me channeling, motherfucking the universe, loving myself, finding myself, hating myself, guilt, acceptance, criticism, anger, pain, every freaking emotional, manageable idea of the construct of humanity I engaged in. Not because not because I'm fucking myself over. It's because I wanted to feel what it was to be a human. I wanted to understand every single ounce of what it means to be a human being and take this earth vacation, is what now I call it, and feel it from second to second until I choose to leave this room, whenever that is. And it's beautiful. I know I woke up from me. I don't worry about the ascension. I'm not worried about who's this and what's happened or any of that shit, because that's just concern for an idea. I know this, that I affect the ascension by me loving me. It's as simple as that. That's the game. Be the brightest, shiniest, most beautiful light to yourself, and that only brightens humanity. And then they choose. Don't worry if they do or not. None of your concern. Keep doing you. So I just want to tell you, my story was finding me to go against everything that was status quo, everything that was found valuable in a construct. And when you challenge that construct, you gain ridicule in the mirror. You gained oppression, you gained judgment, attacks. That's what you got back. Because I was defending against it. And then I realized I didn't have to defend. The minute I stopped defending my stance, who I was, is the minute the world got brighter. Sisyphus told me one time the first act of war is defense. And I said, yeah, you're right. So when I gave up trying to be any image, trying to be accepted, only just being me in the moment so I can understand the beauty of it, what it is to be a human in this now, in this lifetime. Not worrying about where I'm going to go, where I was, where I'm needed, any of that. Just be now fully engaged in me in this now to experience Roxanne and give Roxanne every fucking ounce she deserves of life. Yeah. They're talking.
There's the booyah, honey. Right there is the booyah. Thank you so much, Roxie.
You're welcome, guys.
And it was really, really touching. And, you know, you just reinforce every day how amazing you are and what a wonderful example you are to human beings. And you know what, even other species. So just thank you. Thank you
So
for
that's
that.
my waking up story, everyone. Thanks for tuning into it. Mwah. Yay! Okay, now you guys can unmute and let's chat. If you choose.
I choose.
Roxie.
You rock, Roxie. That's all I got to say.
Good job, Roxie. It was awesome.
Pretty cool story, Roxie.
It was a badass. I love it. Thank you, Marlo.
I really enjoy the puppy pile comment.
Yes. I've been involved in a few puppy piles. They're very fun.
You dirty girl.
Really need some puppy piles? I have some for real.
Oh no. Oh, that's funny. So anyways, so Dan, I think we're done with our first adventure here. To everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in to the first broadcast of Storytime on Hucolo TV. So it'll be same time next week, and next week is of our very own Kim, who's going to be doing the idea of her story, whether she chooses to tell her awakening story or another story, matters not. Again, it's an all open platform. And then that's it. We'll go from there. So out there, thank you all for tuning in. We love you very, very much, and we'll see you all on the next now. All right? Mwah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.